Welcome back into the Rounding Third Baseball Podcast, episode 217. Thank you, Rounding Third followers. I'm Nick, and we have Harrison tonight. How we doing, Harrison?
Fantastic, Nick. How we doing?
Pretty good. Just had that little history lesson with Forrest. It was pretty awesome to have him on. And if you haven't checked out Baseball History Dork, please do so. He has some incredible stuff on there. So check his page out. And you'll see him pop on here from time to time. But all right, we have a lot of stuff to get into tonight. But first, make sure you follow and like us on Facebook. You can subscribe on YouTube. You can follow on Instagram, Rumble, and TikTok. You can also listen on Spotify and Apple Podcasts or wherever you get your podcasts. We also have affiliate sponsors, Dick's Sporting Goods, MLB Shop, and Lids. You can find these links at the tops of all of our socials. If you shop through any of these companies, please do so through our links. We get a nice little kickback with no additional cost to you. So please use these links to help support us. Thank you.
We appreciate those that have.
Absolutely. We also have our Rounding Third merch on Rounding Third Baseball on Etsy. So you can check that out, get our name out there, and you would look pretty good sporting a Rounding Third sweatshirt or t-shirt. So please check that out and complete some orders for us. All right. Before we get into the baseball stuff, me and Harrison want to thank you guys. We just hit 10,000 followers on Facebook. It's been an absolute incredible ride. We've heard incredible stories. We've met incredible people. It has been absolutely a blast. And our goal from here on out is to create a community for you guys, like the fans. We all love the game. We all have different, outlooks on the game. We enjoy certain parts of the game differently. We love to hear those stories. We love to hear your view of baseball and what's happening in the world. This is a celebration for you, the followers and the fans of the show. Like, yes, Harrison and I are behind the scenes and we're working, but we do this for you guys because we're fans ourselves and we love the community that we have built here. And you guys are the reason that it's being built the way it is. So we want to thank you guys for helping us reach this milestone.
Yeah, what started off as something we thought would just be fun. You, me, and Sean, we're going to get on. We're going to talk a little baseball. Maybe people will listen. Maybe they won't. We'll see. We're just going to have some fun with it. And then as the momentum started to build, it got crazy. And I will say that I have so much fun on the show when we have the chat full and comments flying in and where you're asking questions, you're giving perspectives, you're answering the trivia questions. It is so much fun to have this community of baseball fans because it is so hard to find a place to go just talk baseball with people that really know what they're talking about. A lot of people, they watch a little bit of baseball, maybe they read a headline on ESPN, like they're not following the game, they're not in the game like a lot of you are, and that makes this so much fun for us to have built a community over 10,000 strong now of baseball fans, like genuine baseball fans that want to talk the game, that don't want to just come in and make insane comments or crazy hot takes just to try to get on the screen. It's really, really great conversation. And there's nothing we appreciate more than your support, your engagement, because as much time and energy as we spend on this, it doesn't feel like work because it is so much fun to get on this show and talk to you all.
Yeah, and just the points that you guys bring too is Harrison and I, we create a somewhat of an outline and you guys get us off on a tangent and we love that. We love when we get off on tangents. That's when some of our best shows happen, is when we just randomly start going in a different direction and we get tons of engagement on the conversations. And there's parts of it that you guys bring up a point that I've never even thought of it that way before. And that's what makes it so unique and so interesting, because for me, I can't go anywhere else and talk baseball with, these other big podcasts, right? They just kind of put their material out and that's that. We don't want to create that. We want to create this for you. This is why we're doing it. So we want to thank you guys. So
yeah. And to a quick little story, and we won't drag this on, but when we started, we had an outline before every show. Nick sent an outline around. Here's all the topics. What do you want to add to it? We had an outline. Here's the topics we're going to hit on. We talk through those and get off. The show was an hour or less every time because we're nobody's going to listen beyond an hour. Nobody wants to talk baseball for more than an hour. And now I think our shortest show is like an hour and 45.
Yeah.
And we've hit the 3-hour mark. Because again, you all come in, you start talking baseball with us, we start talking back and forth. We go off on rants and tangents, and that's exactly what makes it so much fun, is that as much as we have like a structure, like obviously there's headlines we want to get to, but in the middle of a headline, like you guys throw a question out there, we'll go right down that rabbit hole with you and veer completely off. And John, your comment is great. Like we want this to feel like you're just hanging around talking baseball with your buddies. Like that was the whole intent of this.
Yes.
We wanted to create that community where you could just come in, chat baseball. It's like hanging out with some friends, casual, an hour, which has become an hour and a half, which has become 2, which is some nights is 3. It's such a blast for us because it's gone from being a structured podcast to more of just like an open discussion live show.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm absolutely loving every second of it. So again, thanks to everybody that follows us and gives their 2 cents, because that's what we want. Like, I mean, not literally your 2 cents, but like your opinion on baseball. That's what I meant. Anyways.
I mean, you can leave your 2 cents behind too. That always helps.
Oh yeah. Sure. All right. That being said, let's jump into it. Let's start talking baseball here. Gino Suarez finally breaks out of his slump in a huge way. Homers 4 times yesterday against the Braves, but my D-backs lost. 19th player to homer in 4 times in a game in MLB history, and they were not cheapies. All 4 of these were absolute shots, like no doubters off the bat, just absolute tanks. This guy is the ultimate ice cold or scorching hot. There's no in between where it's like, oh, Suarez had an all right week. No, he's in the free agent list for all fantasy leagues because he goes 0 for 50 with 48 Ks, but then the next week he hits 12 homers, and you're just like, okay, well, I'm not going to pick him up because now he's going to start, striking out again. But I mean, this is still an incredible game, even for Suarez. Like, he's had a lot of multi-home run games in his career, but this one was pretty special.
Yeah, and we had the chat going around last night about from in the fantasy league, and then even had Forrest and reaching out. Anybody got him, or Justin reaching out. We had a chat going with those 2 guys. Who's got this guy in your fantasy league? And like, nobody does, because you can't rely upon him. Yeah. With Suarez, it is feast or famine. He came back today, went 1 for 3, which is good because I expected like an 0 for 4 with 3 Ks. But this is who he's been his whole career. He is either gone and his spot in the lineup's a black hole, or he's tearing the cover off the ball. And I mean, 4 home runs in a game, it doesn't matter hot, cold. That is a night that very few players get to have. And you're right, Nick. None of them are cheap. They were all bombs.
Yeah,
but he's a monster.
Yeah, Captain, you're right. Like, we brought him up. I think it was the first week of the season. First week of the season, he had like 4 or 5 bombs, and then he just didn't do anything for the month of April. And then, he's just all of a sudden tied for the MLB league in 1 game. Like, crazy.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I don't think we probably hadn't talked about him in 3 weeks because there's nothing to talk about.
Yeah. Yep.
Just wild.
Yep. Mike Cameron with the 400 game. I think the last one before Suarez was also a Diamondbacks. It was JD Martinez at Dodger Stadium
in 2017, right?
Pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, 2017.
Forrest. Yes. And he did it without even having to distract the pitcher with a weird bat, like a striped bat or a table leg or anything like that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Was first player. Yeah. National League Player of the Week. Right. Yeah. Because he just was scorching hot to start the season. So, yeah, it was crazy. Yeah. Whoever owns him in fantasy league should try to trade him for assets immediately. Yeah.
Yeah. You won't find a better time to trade him. And honestly, if you don't have him, pick him up and then trade him because everybody went to the waiver wire to claim him.
Yeah.
And then he'll disappoint you for the next few weeks, and he'll have another 4 or 5 game stretch.
Yeah. You'll see him dropped again on Wednesday when he's 0 for his next 12. But good for Gino. I love the Diamondbacks and the spark that he provides to that lineup when he's on.
I have never understood how somebody can be so hot and so cold. Like, the swing doesn't change. You're still seeing the ball. Like, I've never understood how a player can be so feast or famine. Like, how is it possible to have so little in between?
Just some guys you see better than others. Maybe I don't know. I don't have
it. Just never made sense to me.
No, but absolutely insane. All right. Jaron Duran has a straight steal of home. Came exactly 16 years to the day that Jacoby Ellsbury had his straight steal of home against the Yankees in 2009. If you listen to our Rounding Third Boston show, we did bring this up because, well, obviously it's Red Sox. But Jaron Duran puts a big spark in that Red Sox lineup, and when he has a monster game, the Red Sox usually follow. But he had at least a third of the baseline already in his primary lead before he took off. Pitcher wasn't even looking in his direction. He was safe by a mile.
Yeah, I mean, he was jumping around. You could see it pre-pitch. He was just trying to see if he was going to get any attention at all. When he didn't, he just took off. And I mean, I remember that Jacoby Ellsbury steal like it was yesterday. I remember every second of it. And then I honestly never thought I'd see another one because it just seems like it's harder and harder to steal. Now the pitch clock obviously makes things a little different, but stealing home is a whole different story. You've got to get the perfect read. You got to get the big jump because the catcher's got to make no throw. He's just got to fall forward and tag you. So you've got to be way down that line quick.
Yeah.
And Duran read it perfectly, played it perfectly, and his hand was already fully across the plate before that catcher's glove came out to get him, and that which just shows how far down the line he really was.
Yeah, read it like a book and smoked home. I couldn't agree more, John. Like, it's just absolutely crazy.
And he's got like another gear too. When he really wants a base, he's got like a whole nother gear he can put it in because I've not seen Jaron Duran move like that. No. Like that was next level speed from him.
Yep. We're going to stay with Jaron Duran. We're going to bring this up. The incident in Cleveland today, I mean, kind of all over social media this afternoon. After Duran flew out to left, he was heading back to the dugout, and a fan yelled across the top of the dugout. He should have followed through on his suicide attempt when he had the chance. As us fans that love this game, I hate that this is what players are going to expect from us going forward. One person can ruin it for everyone. I brought up the example earlier when we were talking about this on the Sox show that, you know, you have a group of friends and 9 out of the 10 of you guys are really great guys, but you have that one friend that's an absolute jerk and your whole group gets labeled. And unfortunately, I think that's where fans are kind of heading down the road of. Like, players are not going to expect us to behave properly. And that's terrible. Like, I go to a baseball game to watch these guys and to enjoy the immense talent they have. There's no excuses for this type of behavior. I don't care if you're pro free speech or whatever. This is hate speech. This is not free speech. And free speech doesn't mean you get to say anything you want without repercussions. That's not what free speech means. Like, you can say something all you want. There still can be disciplinary actions taken against what you say. That's just how it is. Sorry. But there's no excuses out of this from any fan and at any time. None at all.
Yeah. And my first reaction when I saw Duran and the fan is, oh God, because we had the situation last year where Duran barked at the fan. And I'm like, please tell me this is not a theme with Jaron Duran of not being able to handle what people say. And then you see the reaction from the rest of the team. You're like, well, what's going on here? Because like there was a lot of barking that came from that. And then players peeling Jaron Duran away. And then you get the actual story of what he said, which, I mean, first of all, like, real tough guy screaming that over the dugout, behind the dugout, behind netting, you know, knowing the player can't do anything to you. You know, you wouldn't have said that to Jaron Duran on a sidewalk because you know he'd tear your face off. But you're going to scream it around other people over the top of a dugout where you can hide. So first of all, you know, real tough guy who takes that approach. But secondly, you want to heckle a guy, you want to boo him, you want to tell him he sucks, you want to make fun of him. That's fine. That's all fair game. But when you start getting into things like, you know, when you're screaming out things that are racist, when you're talking about somebody's life, like that's beyond what should be allowed and what should be tolerated, honestly, by the fans. I mean, the fans should have all turned and beaten the guy up for Duran. But I believe they said this guy is going to be banned. Obviously, he should be banned from any baseball field ever. Cleveland fans should be horrified, and I was glad to see the Indians. I'm going to call them the Indians forever. The Guardians come out and actually make the statement of kind of their apology that they don't tolerate that in the ballpark. But like this is taking it to your point, Nick. This is just taking it too far. You want to tell a guy he's terrible, you want to make fun of him, you want to do all that, great, do that. No problem with that. But there are certain lines you can't cross. And I remember as a Red Sox fan in the 90s, late 90s, early 2000s, there's all the rumors from players that, they'd hear racist things coming out of the bleachers at Fenway. And that horrified me as a Red Sox fan. I don't accept that. And if I ever heard that, I would have said something about it. But I don't. This is not what Cleveland is. I don't think this fan base would tolerate that. And this is just way, way too far.
To that point, Harrison, I put the post out earlier, and there was Cleveland fans that chimed in, and they said this is a poor representation of who we are. And I back that up completely. I went to a Guardians game as an out-of-town fan, and the people I sat around were absolutely incredible. They were friendly. They were talking to me. They were into the game. Like, they weren't that type of people. And it's one person that ruins it for everybody. I get it. There's just no excuse in the game for it anymore. And there's no need for it. Jarren Duran did something absolutely courageous this year, releasing that on Netflix, the Clubhouse. He openly talked about mental health, and it is going to help people around this country. Like, let's be honest. There's a lot of mental health issues in this country. I'm not here to stand on a soapbox about that. I'm here to
That's
be
another day.
Right. I'm here, like, he put himself out there to help other people.
Yep.
It wasn't put out there so a fan could scream and degrade him even more about his mental health. That's not why he did that, and that's not why he talked about it. Just be a decent human being is all I'm asking you to do. It's not hard. It's easier to be nice than it is to be mean to people. Just be nice. That's it. That's the moral of my story anyways. Just be nice. It's not hard.
Yeah, it's, how would you feel if somebody turned the tides and made some comment like that to you? Again, you want to tell me sucks, you want to talk about his game, you want to talk about what happens on the field, that's fine. But the rest of it's not fair game, because at the end of the day, we've said on the show many times, these are regular people. They go home at night, they drive themselves home at night to a family, and they go to bed, they get up in the morning, they have breakfast with their family, they go to the ballpark. This is what they do for a job. You wouldn't accept this kind of behavior at your workplace. You wouldn't say that kind of thing around other people. You probably wouldn't want that posted in the newspaper with your name next to it. So just don't say it at the ballpark.
Yeah.
And John's a great example. I think what you're seeing is I think you've got a lot of people out there who are in just bad positions, mental health, you name it, all those things, and they're just looking for somebody else to take it out on. The Mitch Garver one, though, that was a really bad one, where his own fans are sending him death threats, and the team told him to stay home. Like that is not in character for Seattle fans.
No.
We talked about on the Red Sox show, the Philadelphia Phillies fans love to throw snowballs of Santa and batteries at players. That's a whole nother level of low. But you expect that going into a place like Philadelphia. You don't expect that in Cleveland or Seattle. And it's just, it kills me. And honestly, I would love to see this guy have to go 3 rounds with Jarren Duran, because he wouldn't make it through one. Like,
no.
You've, again, real tough guy, saying that between the barrier of a net and a dugout and other people. It's really easy to make that kind of comment when nobody can get close to you. It's another thing to make that comment right in the wide open.
Yeah.
Because that's, you wouldn't do it, because you don't have the courage to say something like that to somebody unless they can't reach you.
Yeah, and we'll get into it a little bit later. Like Tommy Pham got suspended a game, and we'll dive into that in a second. But
the fans hit him. Like, at what point do you draw the line here?
Yeah, I mean, Anthony Rendon a couple of years ago. I know we don't like necessarily bringing him up, but he was walking in the dugout. A fan said something, and Rendon's like, "Come down here and say that to me." Like, like, they're people as well. And like, someone comes up and threatens you, what's your first reaction? You're gonna get defensive too. Like, I get it, but it just shouldn't be said at this point. And yes, obviously somebody needs to revisit some Mr. Rogers episodes for sure.
Yeah, I am a huge baseball fan. I remember there's years in the World Series I'm screaming at the television when the Red Sox were in it. But I can never imagine having my whole mental state be dependent upon my team. Like, I've got a life outside of baseball. I love baseball, but I would never let it get to that point where I'd feel the need to go that far. It is a game. These guys are playing a game. They get paid really well. They're there to entertain you. You don't finish. You don't go to a play and scream at people on stage. You don't go to a movie and then call the actors and tell them how much they sucked. Like, why do you do that here? Let's just lay off here, enjoy the entertainment, enjoy the game, nice day at the ballpark, and let's leave the rest of it at home.
Yeah. Amen. All right. We'll move on. Teoscar Hernandez cranks his 200th career home run today against the Pirates. Where does Teo sit for you in the list of outfielders? Near the top, mid-tier of current outfielders? Where do you think he sits?
Current outfielder, I feel like he's kind of in the mid tier. He's a guy that does a lot of things well. Obviously, we know the strikeouts are well documented. Yeah, but it's a guy hitting 276, 7 home runs, 24 RBIs. I mean, I think he's middle to high end of the middle. I don't think he's an elite level outfielder, but I think he's really good. I think he's in that. He's not great. He's not good. He's in that like very good category, in that maybe in that upper third. But he does a lot of things. He's also very streaky, wildly inconsistent. A lot of Ks, and he's had a good little stretch here of late, because he had a bit of a lull there for a couple weeks in the middle of the month where he was a black hole. But that Dodgers team needs him to hit, because they are proving that they do have some holes.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah,
well, and John, it's a fair point, because I do think that I think the Mariners would love to have him, but that ballpark, if I'm a power hitter, that ballpark is not a super desirable place to set down roots. Because that thing's going to take away a handful of home runs a year from you.
Yeah. I mean, Chavez Ravine's not much better either. That place is
not a lot better, but it's better, not a lot better. But you're also going to go on the road to some interdivision ballparks where the ball flies.
Yeah, that's true. So yeah, Edward, to kind of go back to this, the Red Sox won today, and as a silver lining to everything that kind of happened, going back to the situation we just talked about, I'm wondering if it might light a little bit of a spark underneath this Red Sox team, because then they just laid it on the Guardians and won 13-3. Like, it was like, all right, like, let's just put up 10 more runs, get out of here. So maybe that's what it is.
John, I can't argue this thinking. If he's an 88 overall on the show and he's top 2 left fielder, then yeah, I mean, if the show says that, I got to get behind it.
Yeah,
I will say, I mean, I say that part jokingly, but he does a lot of things well.
Yeah,
I don't know that he's a guy you can rely on to be that elite level, more than half the time.
I mean, if you think of left like solely left fielders around the league, he might be top 2. Like, who's another elite left fielder?
I mean, I do feel like when you look around the outfield, right field and center field are far more stacked than left field. And you also have a lot of guys that move between outfield positions. So you don't necessarily have like truly locked down left field. I mean, the Red Sox for years used left field as a place to cycle people through. Now, obviously, Duran is pretty well kind of situated in left field, but even he slides over to center now and then.
Yeah.
So it's I think when you look at left fielders, maybe he is in the top few. But I think outfielders in general, I think there's a lot of guys that I would still take ahead of him.
Yeah, generic outfielders for sure. But I mean, he's definitely in the upper 20%. Absolutely. But all right. Devin Williams removed from the closer role, quote unquote, for now. That's Aaron Boone's quote, for now. Is this the Mariano effect? And I mean that by, are the Yankees just sitting here hoping for the next Mariano to come around where you have a lockdown closer? I'm not saying the Mariano Rivera, where he's, the all-time saves leader. But are they searching for a guy that they can rely on every single day, and this just isn't it, so they're moving on? Or is this just straight lack of performance from Devin Williams? Or maybe a little bit of both?
I mean, I think in this case, it's just straight lack of performance from Devin Williams. And this is a guy who's been a sub-2 ERA for the last handful of years and is considered one of the best closers in baseball. And I do think that when you go from pitching in Milwaukee to pitching in New York, it's different. Ballpark sounds different. Media is different. The focus is different. The scrutiny is different. The lights are brighter.
All those things
are true. Yeah, all those things are true. And the other point I was going to make is exactly what you just said. You're also most nights facing stiffer competition. You're getting 13 games against each of the teams in the NL Central. That's a third of your season against, I would say, lesser competition. You're facing some juggernauts night in, night out. With that being said, he hasn't looked good. He's not located. He's left a lot of pitches up. He's getting hit hard. He's walking guys. He does not look at all like his usual self. So I don't know if this is an issue with not being comfortable there. If there's a health thing that we just haven't found out yet, are we going to find out he's got some sort of elbow or shoulder problem? But the Yankees have struggled to find a closer for a while now. It's been a revolving door of people. And I think that Mariano's a unicorn. You're not going to find the Mariano.
Right.
But they've also not, until Devin Williams came to town, they really hadn't had like a true closer. They had a lot of guys they shuffled through there. But other than Chapman for stretches, they really haven't had a dominant guy there. I thought Williams was their guy. I actually rated their bullpen one of the better in baseball because of him.
Right.
And he just hasn't performed. And that right field porch is not helping him either. He's lost a game to that one. So there's a lot of things to get used to.
Yeah. Yeah, agree with this point, John. You know, baseball is a game of averages for sure. Yeah. You know, Yankees are coming back down from having Mo for 15. And then Cap'n, it's very well said. There's not a lot of lockdown closers out there. If you don't have one, it's almost better to play it by the situation. And, you know, as much as we say, like, we hate bullpen by committee, like, it is all about matchups. Like, you got to put the right guy in the right situation. And that's what we said about the Red Sox bullpen, you know, when Hendricks came back. We're like, well, is Hendricks going to be the closer? Is Chapman going to be the closer? And we're like, well, you got lefty righty there. Let's just play it by matchup. That's what we thought was going to happen. But I mean, Chapman's done a pretty damn good job for the Red Sox so far, coming in and doing what he's needed to do. But that aside, there's not a lot of Ryan Helsley's out there. Mason Miller. When Mason Miller gets the ball, it's lights out. Forget it. But there's not a lot of those guys. Andres Munoz in Seattle, that guy's filthy too. But other than that, who do you got? Is there other ones out there? I mean, I'm sure there's a couple others. But
I mean, yeah, it's Class A, Miller, Helsley. I mean, those are the guys you immediately think of.
Yeah.
And then you got the Dodgers with 9 closers, but not a single one of those guys would I put like in the elite closer category. Trinan's a good piece. Kopech is hurt. Kirby Yates, blew a bad one to the Rangers and almost blew one, but the night before that. I just think it is hard. The closer's role is hard. And I will say the common theme with most of those guys, they throw nearly 100-mile-per-hour gas. But we saw Duvall lose his closer role in San Fran last year when he imploded on himself. He just couldn't get people out anymore, even throwing 103. Right. Williams doesn't have dominant stuff. So when
right. I was gonna say his changeup's dominant when it's on.
Yeah, but the changeup is not a pitch where, like, if you really miss bad, you can get away with it. At a hundo, you can sometimes miss down the middle and get away with it. It is hard to do that when you're throwing a changeup and a guy can just adjust and do something with it. So
yeah,
he's a different type of closer. We think back to the days of, Keith Folk, who lived off of a changeup, and Trevor Hoffman, who lived off of a changeup. Those guys got tagged hard when that pitch wasn't on.
Yeah. So Gino, how are you feeling about the Yankees closer situation then? Who would you put in that situation?
Yeah.
That's a question to you. And John, when Duran is on, he is unhittable. That's another great one. I went back and watched that clip you told me to watch the other night, and I was like, I was talking to him in the message, John, in the message about it, and I was like, oh my goodness gracious, that was absolutely insane. But yeah, you're right. Duran's filthy when he's on for sure.
Yep. It's elite level stuff, but it's the closer role. I think it is hard for these guys with elite velocity. You have a little bit more wiggle room. Devin Williams, and I do think that home run to Pete Alonso haunts him a little bit still. I just think that's a tough way to end one season and close that chapter. And he didn't want to get traded. He didn't want to leave Milwaukee, and that wasn't his choice. He was sent away, and he wasn't necessarily excited about it when he came to New York. The whole facial hair thing, and I think he got off to a tough start, and I feel like in New York, that's a place where things can snowball fast. You have a bad night, then another bad night, and it just gets away from you, and you spend the whole season chasing it.
Yep.
And that fan base is going to tell you what they think.
Oh yeah. Yeah. They won't
where you stand.
Yeah. All right. Luke Keeschel. So we talked about him on Thursday about the start he had. Suffered a non-displaced right forearm fracture after being hit by a pitch. The Twins need an exorcism to get rid of all the bad injury spirits in that clubhouse, in that organization. They need to do something because they can't keep their stars on the field to save themselves. Like, it's bad. It seems like we're talking about a major Twins injury every week for the last 3 years that we've had this podcast.
I was gonna say, I feel like we haven't completed the show till there's been some Twins injury, whether it's Buxton or Lewis or somebody else, and now it's Keishel's off to this crazy good start. And again, like it's with Buxton and Lewis, it's the same stuff. It's muscle injuries, it's knees, like it's the overexertion and wear and tear type stuff. This is a freak injury. It's going to take this kid out for a while. I didn't see the preliminary estimates, but I have to guess with a fracture, you're probably talking 4 to 6 weeks.
Yeah.
It's just the Twins, two things. They are relying upon guys who have injury histories, guys like Lewis and Buxton, but then they also just can't catch a freaking break. With this situation, it is constantly something with them. And that is a team that has got some talent to compete, but they can't because they can't get them all on the field at the same time.
Yeah. They have some great pieces there, but you're right. They just can't get those pieces together at the same time. It's that one missing piece that you drop underneath the table and you can't find it for 4 to 6 weeks. Keishel's gonna be fine. And again, like it's a freak injury, but I hope this kid comes up and just continues to rake when he comes back. I mean, new training staff. That's an interesting question, Captain. Possibly. Yeah. I mean, that could help. I don't know if they've changed that over. John Carter might actually know more about that than I do, because I'm going to be honest, I don't follow a ton of Twins usually. But man, it's just tough. They got to do something. Yeah,
and Lewis is on. Hopefully Lewis will be back. But was he a hamstring? I feel like that's what he was. With Buxton, it's been things like meniscus, ankle, hamstrings. I don't know that a training staff changes that kind of stuff. Maybe the muscle soreness a little bit, but I feel like you just have guys that don't hold up well, and I don't understand how these guys get into these situations where they've got so many muscle injuries. Is there something in their diet, exercise program? Is there something with stretching? It just seems weird to me. And maybe that's where the training team needs to just evaluate different opportunities. Maybe you need to get these guys thinking more about flexibility and less about power. And you had a guy like Arenado last year who spent his whole offseason working on his hip flexibility because he felt stiff. And it completely changed the way he moved. But it also messed with his swing for a little while because he was getting used to a different level of mobility. So that if you do something and something else changes, and it's just the nature of that. But it is it's tough. It's tough to watch these guys year after year, month after month, battle something. And even when those guys are in the lineup, half the time they're battling something and they're only like 80%. Like, when was the last time you saw either of those guys 100% for a long stretch of time? I can't think of one.
No. Yeah, we've talked for years that, Buxton could be a perennial 40-40 guy. He just can't play enough games to get there. This is tough. All right.
Yeah, John confirmed it's a hammy.
Hammy, yeah. All right. Logan Gilbert hits the IL with a right forearm flexor strain, which is not necessarily a good one because this is linked to elbow, all that stuff. And obviously, I know the answer to this question. Is this an injury to worry about?
This is an injury you worry a lot about. This is your number one guy. This is the future of your pitching staff. I mean, Castillo's nice. Brian Wu is nice. All those guys are nice. But Logan Gilbert is your clear-cut number one. Like, this is the guy that if you had to pick only one guy to keep, he's the one.
Yeah.
And, this is like the Red Sox losing Garrett Crochet. This is the pain of the Yankees losing Garrett Cole. This is their guy. Anything when you talk elbow, shoulder, around either one of them, you worry about, because if you do lose him for any length of time, that pitching staff is still good, but it's not elite anymore. And that offense is got to pick up the slack, and you do not have an offense that can pick up the slack.
I mean, lately you have.
You lately,
But
yes.
will it last? I don't have faith.
Talk to us again in 45 days. Let's see how that offense is still doing at that point. But this is one of the handful of best arms in all of baseball.
Yeah, and it's tough because the Mariners have had a pretty decent month, right? They're battling for that AL West title. Because as we said before the season, we felt like the AL West was pretty wide open. And it was theirs for the taking. But losing your ace puts a damper in that real quick. Now, I mean, I don't know if we don't know the timetable on it. We don't know the degree of it. I think I saw like a grade 1. I believe is what I saw. That could have been somebody else's. But either way, they're going to be cautious with it because you don't want that grade 1 to be a grade 3, grade 4, however high it goes. And then he needs Tommy John because, the flexor strain puts the extra strain on the elbow, and then that's that. So hopefully he's not out for long and he can get back, because watching this guy pitch is incredible.
Yeah, I mean, and the Mariners won 7 of the last 10. They've climbed to the first place in the West. Funny enough, pitching wise, runs given up, they're in the bottom third of the American League. They've actually been able to outscore that because they have not pitched as well as expected. And I think losing him makes a bit of a change to that. But let's hope that the stage 1 is something he can get back to with kind of rest and some recovery and some work on that arm, because if they lose him for a length of time, I just think they're in trouble.
Yeah, agree. All right, so here's the Tommy Pham situation. So suspended 1 game for inappropriate actions towards fans. Pham went over to the stands to get a ball that was hit down the left field line. Fan reached out and touched him. Some jawing back and forth, and Pham invited the fan to come out and fight pretty much. So Pham was like, well, why don't you just come out here and we'll deal with it. I've seen some other clips of other people commenting on it and being like, Tommy Pham might be the last guy in the league that I'm going to go after. I don't know why you would want to mess with this guy. It's just absolutely incredible. But I don't have a problem with him doing that. If the fan's drawing at him and you just be like, hey, dude, yeah, come out here and say it to my face. Like, I don't see how that's an issue. Like, I mean, I know I'm kind of talking out of both sides of my mouth there, right? Because I just brought up the Duran situation and then we're talking about this.
I would have been okay with Duran going into the stands and beating that guy up, though.
And that's true. I would, yeah, I don't know. I don't know exactly what to think of this. I don't think he should have been suspended for 1 game. I think that's stupid. It was just like, yeah, we'll just come out here and get it. Like, that's it.
Yeah, I mean, I understand why MLB suspended them for a game, and I think based on the comments they made about the suspension, it was more so to like calm everybody down. But there is no player in baseball history I've ever been more convinced is part of a fight club than Tommy Pham.
No doubt.
Like, this guy for sure. If you go to his house, he's got like a UFC MMA ring in his backyard. He's inviting his buddies over. It's like the days of Zdeno Chara with the Bruins, who would go back and MMA in the off season. Like, this is a dude that is down for a fight.
Yeah.
And the fan didn't like touch him. The fan like smacked him on the back with their glove. And I think, honestly, Tommy Pham, being who he is, I thought he actually handled it pretty well.
Yeah.
But when he kind of like told the fan, come get some, let's go. I was like, oh, this is going to get bad real fast. Yeah. I was afraid they're going to throw him out of the game just to like protect everybody. But Tommy Pham is that guy who is down to fight. He is DTF, the other DTF, down to fight any minute. I mean, wasn't it him that punched Jock Peterson for the fantasy football league thing?
Yep.
Like there's nobody on the planet more ready to fight at any minute than Tommy Pham.
Yeah, I'm with you, John. I think he's on the mountain of right in this situation for sure. Mm-hmm. Like,
he has every right to be mad. He should not be touched by a fan.
He didn't swear at him. He didn't cuss at him. He didn't call him any names. He just said, "Come out and get it, big guy." That's all he said.
Yeah, the guy smacks him on the back with his glove, and then said some things to Pham. And then Fam just basically challenged him. So come on out.
Yeah. Tommy, why did I test him, fam?
I
Yeah.
mean, honestly, like if Fam should have said, okay, like meet me outside after the game because there's no way that fan's going to take him up on that offer. But
Yeah.
And John, you're 100% right. These low walls, and we've seen it at Fenway down the right field line a bunch of times. You know, fans have reached out and patted the guy on the back, or we've even seen somebody try to take somebody's hat before. Just dumb stuff. But I agree with John. I do think that, or the other John, one of the many Johns, that I think that Tommy Pham was not in the wrong here. I think he actually handled it well when it happened because he could have turned and decked the guy, and that could have been a lot worse. In all fairness, Jock has a really punchable face. I mean,
fair.
You're not wrong.
Yeah, but I mean,
I thought it was going to escalate right there at the wall, and it didn't. So I feel like in many cases, like good on you, Tommy Pham, for not like losing your mind. Maybe you took it too far, telling the guy to come out in the field and get some, but I don't hate what he did, and I think MLB suspended him one game just to try to save face with the fans.
I love the fact that he fielded the ball and took time to turn around and stare the guy down before throwing it back into the infield. Like that was the best ever. Like,
that is such a Tommy Pham moment.
I just don't understand it. Like I'm a decent sized guy. I'm 6'2", 225, and I'm sitting at a ballpark, and these guys are massive compared to me. Most of them are huge human beings, like pristine athletes. I would never in my right mind would be like, yeah, I'm going to go mess with that guy today. No, I'd get my face kicked in a heartbeat.
Yep.
Like no, absolutely insane. But
yeah, I mean, and Tommy Pham's one of the smaller guys out there. He's 6'1", 225. This is not a small guy.
He's solid rock.
Yeah, he's not a small guy.
No.
Yeah, and careful, John. When I tell people I spend my nights with Johns, they think I'm a working girl. So be careful when you use the word Johns.
But yes, they're in full effect, and Captain, of course. But
yeah,
all we know, Captain's John could be John too. So we don't know. But
yeah, maybe we might just need some folks to change their names. Maybe just change the screen names so we're not talking to all these Johns. But
yeah, right.
I thought kudos to Tommy Pham for not letting it blow up at the wall. Yeah. I love the stare back. I love the fact he kind of like said a few things and just walked away, like let it go. And then when he called the guy back out, I thought that was hilarious.
Yeah, David Segui, another guy not to be.
Dude, yeah, David Segui was a bad man.
Maybe we're gonna have to put that list together. MLB players you would never want to get in a fight with. That would kind of be a pretty good show. Not a John. Okay, good.
Yeah. Good.
Confirmed.
Yeah, that is confirmed. Nice.
Yeah, I mean, there's got to be a list out there. I'm sure someone's put it together already of MLB players you'd never want to fight with.
When I saw that Tommy Pham like look back at the wall, all I could think of was the days of like Yoenis Cespedes, who would have done the same thing.
Oh yeah,
he would have had the glare, but he would have gone back and thrown a punch. I think.
Yeah.
Tommy Pham at least stopped.
Yeah. Had some self-control.
So David Segui was a dude you didn't want to mess with. He also had a history. So yes, you're right.
Yeah.
He had some moments.
Crazy. All right. MASN Plus. Some Orioles fans were charged $8,999 for MASN Plus instead of the $89.99 for the year. At that price, you can keep me blacked out, please.
Yeah, I saw this. I'm like, you have to be kidding. How does that happen?
Incredible. Imagine getting that, being like, oh yeah, I get to watch the Orioles lose the entire month of April. And well, not the Rockies. The Rockies are what, 3-24 or something like that. Brutal. But anyways, but imagine seeing that hit your bank account the next day and just being like, oh, what the heck just happened?
I mean, yeah. And honestly, like for the April they just had, they should refund like 20% of that on top of it, because it was nothing to watch. But like, I can't imagine an organization like MASN, they're not new to this. How does that happen? How does that get through?
Lifetime subscription?
Yeah. Your 100-year subscription.
You missed the decimal point by 2 places. Like it wasn't even like 899. Like you either just forgot to put it in or just like what? MASN is the the Orioles and the Nationals local TV broadcast. So like yes in New
Mid-Atlantic
York.
Sports Network.
Sure. So it's like yes in New York. It's like Nesson in Boston. That's what Masson is for Baltimore and Washington.
Yeah. So Masson is Mid-Atlantic Sports Network, just like Nesson is the New England Sports Network. These are they are the locally owned. Actually, they're partially owned by the team, I believe. Media outlet.
Yeah, but just I saw that and I was like, oh my god, that's absolutely hilarious. I couldn't believe it. But
I just that's an oops. Somebody got fired. But how is there not a filter on your billing system to make sure like that overcharge can't happen? Like there's gonna be some people that are looking around going, how do we not let this happen again? Because that's pretty freaking bad.
Yeah. You know what?
Did they refund all the fees for accounts where like that caused overdrafts or payments bounced, or are they going to go back and refund all those fees too? Because in which case you should just give it away for free for the year because that's what it's going to cost you to fix the damage.
Yeah, right. Just give me season tickets for the next 10 years and we'll call it good.
Deal.
But man, oh man. All right. So like I said, we would throw out sometimes the comment of the week. So we got this on one of our trivia questions. The answer to our trivia question was Jose Mesa, and the viewer answered Joe Table. And I got the biggest chuckle out of that because I was like, I was starting to write like, no, sorry, that's incorrect. Oh, no, he's right. Yep, that's right. That's right. Joe Table. Love it. So that was our comment of the week. Still not as good as last week's, but this one was pretty good.
I mean, at least this guy knew we were talking about baseball.
Yeah, facts. True.
It's funny because you text me, you're like text me like the laughing emojis with this answer, and I'm like, the hell's wrong with him? I don't get it. And then like 45 seconds later, I'm like, oh, that is pretty funny. Okay, I get it.
Yeah.
But I was like, what the hell is this guy? What the hell is this Nick guy talking about?
Yeah, so pretty good.
There's a lot of creativity in the answer section, in the answer comments to our trivia questions.
Oh yeah, it's pretty great. We have one guy that just randomly puts like name drops, like he tries to just put a random name in there. It's like, no, he knows it's not right, but he just puts a random name in there. It's like, man, haven't heard that name in a while. So pretty good. Love it. All right, here we go, Harrison. We have got AL individual records by team trivia. Oh boy. So guess what next week is? I bet you can't guess what next week is.
No, I can't. I won't be able to figure it out.
Yeah, pretty tough.
Is there another league that we'll do?
Maybe. I don't know. We'll see.
Is it Nippon League? We're gonna go NL.
Yep, the NPL baby, or NPB and NPL and NBL.
NPB, Nippon Professional Baseball. NPB.
Yes,
doesn't matter.
Acronyms are hard. All right, here is the first one. Who holds the franchise record for most at-bats in a single season for the Baltimore Orioles?
I mean, my mind goes to Cal Ripken because he played every game, so he's bound to have put up some pretty big numbers.
Yeah, it is not Cal Ripken.
Wow. Is it Brady Anderson in that 50 home run year? Did he get a bunch of extra bats at the top of the order?
It's a great guess, but it's not him either.
Oh.
So we had him, or you brought him to my attention last week in the Who Is That Guy segment.
Oh, no.
He was a lefty. Anderson's a good guess, John, not Anderson.
Oh, no. Who did I have? I had Shannon Stewart in there. I had... Should pay attention to my own work.
Adam Jones is another great guess, not Adam Jones.
Yeah, except the guy I would have thought it was Nick Markakis, who also got a bazillion at bats there, but
was it Markakis? Markakis was actually pretty high on the list, but he's not number one.
This is gonna really irk me now because I gave the answer already. Now I don't know what it was.
This is
BJ Surhoff, really?
BJ Surhoff, 673 in 1999.
Oh, man.
Yeah, that's a tough one. BJ Surhoff. Captain got it. I pulled the trigger a little too early. Sorry, Captain.
Just as he flipped it over. But it's all right. You guys are on a delay, so it's all good.
Yeah, nice job. Yeah, BJ Surhoff. All right, here we go. Next one. Who holds the franchise record for most games pitched in a career for the Boston Red Sox?
It's not Wake, is it?
Nope.
Say it's not Cy Young. It's not Clemens. Casey Fossum.
No, not Casey Fossum.
Now is this is this like starting or just or appearances?
Just appearances, games pitched, right? I can go in for one pitch and I get a games pitched.
Oh, okay, so this could be a bullpen arm. So it could be a franchise record for most in a career. Okay, so this would go back into. So you got like Stanley was out in the bullpen in the 80s.
Got it.
Okay.
Bob Stanley, 637 between 77 and 89.
Wow.
Yes. Nice job. Yeah. Bob Stanley. Nice job. All right. Who holds the franchise record for most games pitched in a single season for the New York Yankees?
Is this recent or going way back? Jamie Moyer. We got a couple Jamie Moyers in there.
Yep. Nice. So this is fairly recent. You know this guy.
Okay. So most games pitched. So this would be somebody who came in a lot. So if I think I got guys who got used a lot, you had obviously Mo, but he was a closer. He wasn't in there that often. Leafs used Chamberlain a ton.
You're in the right era-ish. This guy had a funky-ish delivery.
Funky-ish delivery. Okay. Like a like a submariner or
sort of kind of. I think he was like 3/4 to a side armor, if I remember correctly.
Looks like that reminds me of a guy like Pavano, but we know he didn't pitch much in New York.
Not Wetland. Wetland's a great
one.
guess.
Oh, Jeff Nelson's a good one too.
Jeff Nelson is a good one. It's not Jeff Nelson.
Betances? I mean, there's a bunch of guys that used a lot.
His last name starts with a Q.
The only guy I can think of the pitch for them was Paul Quantrill.
It is Paul Quantrill.
I would never in a million years have guessed that he was on that list.
86 appearances in 2004. Yeah. Crazy.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, Jeff Nelson, I mean, that dude seemed like he was on the mound every night for the Mariners and the Yankees when he was with both of them.
Yeah,
for
Kyle
sure.
Farnsworth. They had a bunch of guys they just abused the crap out of.
Yeah. All right. Next one. Who holds the franchise record for most triples in a single season for the Toronto Blue Jays?
This to me feels this is going to be like Devon White or not a Stewart, not a Vernon Wells. Those weren't triples guys.
It is a guy that was on those Blue Jays World Series teams, though.
Oh, okay. So early 90s Blue Jays. Boy, that's speed guy, though.
And not Otis Nixon.
Which is a good guess. That's John.
Oh, that's John.
Literally threw that out there right as you said
it. Not Otis, not Vernon Wells. That's another great guess. He played shortstop for them, I'm pretty sure. Tony Fernandez. Got it. Bang.
I was just going to say, it's got to be Fernandez with the weird stance, right?
Yeah, Tony Fernandez. Nice job.
Oh, Robbie Alomar is another good guess.
Yeah, that was another great guess. Yeah, Tony Fernandez. Yeah. 17 in 1990. Nice.
Kind of a slasher. All right.
Yes. All right. Who holds the franchise record for most pitching strikeouts in a single season for the Tampa Bay Rays / Devil Rays?
Not a lot of history here, so I would think of a guy like a guy like Price, Big Game James.
Nope.
Who was the kid they traded to like Pittsburgh?
Mm-hmm.
He had that 3/4 delivery through gas.
Mm-hmm.
Is it him?
Yep.
Oh, man, what was his name? It was like Archer. Is it Archer?
It is Chris Archer. Nice job. 252 in 2015.
And they unloaded him for like a bag of balls, and it was like, what?
Yeah. Scott Kazmir, another great name.
Kazmir, yeah.
He
killed the Red Sox. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, he did. He killed a lot of teams. He was a good pitcher. He was good. Did. Nice one. All right. Who holds the franchise record for most triples in a single season for the Chicago White Sox?
Pasednik.
No.
Say
You got to go pretty far back. Dennis Quaid.
Dennis Quaid.
You got to go pretty far back.
Yeah. I remember Archer just because of the weird trade to Pittsburgh. It was just like all of a sudden gone.
Yeah.
Like, I'm guessing like we're going back before like the 80s and 90s. We're going further back than that.
Yeah, like a lot of years.
Is this like Aparicio, Nellie Fox? We're going back into like that group
Before them.
Before them, Tippy Fairbanks.
Bang.
Oh, Shoeless Joe. Obviously, that should have been an obvious one.
Yep. Joe Jackson, 21 in 1916. The
That was
rare
fast,
color, the rare. Oh, Lance Johnson is a great guess.
That is a good one.
I think he has the team record for the Mets though when he went over there, but
Wow.
because that was a trivia question we had way back. I had the Lance Johnson one. So yeah, Joe Jackson, the rare colored photo from 1916.
I was just gonna say, where'd you find a color photo?
I have my sources.
I don't want to know.
Nope, you don't. All right. Who holds the franchise record for most games pitched in a single season for the Cleveland Indians / Guardians? And this is fairly recent.
Oh, okay, so I was gonna go like a Nagy but not.
Mm-mm.
Well, it's not Bieber.
Yeah, definitely.
We know that for sure.
This is a relief pitcher. I will give you that.
Oh, okay. I was going right down the list of starters. So is it a Class A?
Class A. He might still be pitching for them, I believe. Let me check.
I thought of like Andrew Miller, but
he is not pitching for them right now. And he got dealt from the Indians and signed with the White Sox in 2023 and 2024. But he was pretty big name in that bullpen for the Guardians for the last couple of years.
So not a closer, more like a setup guy?
Mm-hmm.
So is it Shaw?
It is definitely Brian Shaw.
Because that's the only guy I can think of that would get that many appearances.
Yeah. 81, 2021. Brian Shaw. Nice. Good one. Those are all good guesses. Oliver Perez. Great guess.
Yeah, that's a good one. Where's Shaw now? Would you say he was?
He's not on a roster. He was on the White Sox in 2024. He doesn't have any 2025 stats, so I don't think he's on
I thought I haven't seen his name in a while.
No. Yep. The ghost of Chief Wahoo.
Maybe.
Yeah. All right. Who holds the franchise record for most runs scored in a single season for the Kansas City Royals?
Is this recent? Like, is this Bobby Witt?
It's before him.
Okay.
Oh, Shaw's in Colorado now. Okay.
Oh, okay. Say not a name I've heard in a while. Most runs scored in a single. So I go back to the days of like Alex Gordon and Jermaine Dye, Johnny Damon.
It is Johnny Damon.
Wow, 136. That's a lot.
Yep. In 2000, 136. You forget how good of a player Johnny Damon was.
He really was.
He's so underrated.
Wicked. He was really, really good.
Everywhere he went, he was just solid. Willie Wilson, that's a great guess.
And but, Damon was he was a good clubhouse guy, good culture guy, hustle guy.
Occasional power, great stick. I mean, everything.
Yeah, ask the Yankees about power.
One of the best arms in the league.
When he got double cut by Manny.
Yeah, that was a joke. Sweeney's also another great name there.
Good one, yeah.
Yeah, absolute gamer. 1,000% with you, John. Absolute gamer, Johnny Damon.
Yeah, the only hole in his game was the arm.
Yeah.
Otherwise, he had it all.
Yeah, and you can deal with that.
I mean, same with Bernie Williams. Bernie Williams had a very weak arm. They were the same player.
Yeah. Yeah, great base runner. Yeah.
Yep.
Absolutely. All right, next one. Who holds the franchise record for most career saves for the Detroit Tigers?
Is this Todd Jones?
Bang. Why don't you give it a little time to think here?
Yeah, that one I know because I
Yeah.
remember Jones.
Yeah. Todd Jones at 235.
It's actually surprisingly low for an organization with that much history. Yeah, John, average arm, decent leadoff guy. That was absolutely the critique.
Yep. Yep.
He was a gamer until he was a Yankee. Yes,
1,000%.
Whenever the Yankees take our center fielders, Damon, Ellsbury, it never goes well.
And that Ellsbury one, man, they're still paying for it. That's brutal.
I mean, what was the worst deal against the Yankees for Ellsbury? Home or the money?
The money for sure. That was bad. That was real bad.
Picking up that paycheck with a mask and a gun because he was stealing from them for a lot of years.
Yeah. All right. Who holds the franchise record for most career home runs allowed for the Minnesota Twins?
Home runs allowed. Okay. Guy who had longevity. So it's not a guy like Santana who gave up like no home runs.
Yeah, definitely.
McDowell wasn't there that long.
No.
Is this recent or is this going back a little ways?
It goes back a little ways. I would say 90s, I believe.
I mean, Joe Nathan of the bullpen gave up a bunch.
That's a good guess. It's not Joe Nathan. It is a starter. It's not Jack Morris. Jack Morris is a good guess. It's not Morris.
So in that same era as Santana, you had Liriano, you had Brad Radke, you had.
It is Brad Radke.
Nice job, John. Stole it from me right as I'm saying it. Well played.
Yeah, 326 home runs surrendered in his Minnesota Twins career.
Another guy who was a control guy. When he didn't have it, he got hit hard.
Yes, he did.
He pitched for a long time, though.
Yep. All right. Who holds the franchise record for most career saves for the Texas Rangers? I think this one's pretty much a layup. I think you can get this one.
Is this Wetland?
It is Wetland.
Okay. Yeah. Sounds like you're saying it's a layup, but like the only guy that comes to mind with a lot of saves is Wetland. Like that's an organization that's not had any sort of real successful long-term closers.
Yeah. I mean, 150 gives him the all-time career lead. And I was like, dang. I mean, that's really not a ton.
That's not. I mean, that's 5 good seasons.
Yep. Him and Carlos Silva were having competition in 03. Yep.
Silva's the other guy I couldn't think of the name of who gave up a ton of bombs.
There's been so many names since like our following has like grown so much in the last few days. Like there's been so many names dropped lately where I was like, holy cow, I completely forgot about that. Carlos Silva is another one. Like I haven't thought about him in so long.
I know.
It's awesome. Man, this is incredible. It's awesome. Yeah, John Wetland, 150. Wild. All right.
I feel like you're putting me on the spot there with this is an easy one. I'm like, oh crap, I only got one name, so it better be right.
Yeah.
I should have saved that name.
Yeah, you should. That was going to be my next clue was Captain guessed him earlier.
There we go.
But all right. Here we go. For Mr. John Temple.
Oh, all right, John, this is for you.
Who holds the franchise record for most career saves for the Seattle Mariners? I mean, it's for everybody, but since he's our token Mariners fan,
Yeah, and that is a team that doesn't have a single closer that comes to mind. Like this is a tough one.
There should be one. I think he sticks out as soon as like you hear it, you'd be like, oh yeah, he was definitely their closer for a decent chunk. Yeah, 1,000%.
Oh yeah, Kaz Sasaki. Okay.
Yeah, I mean 129 again, still not a ton.
It's 3 or 4 good years.
Yeah. But good. Yep. Sasaki. Nice job.
I kind of forgot about him. He was good.
JJ Putz, another great name.
JJ Putz is like it was the only name I had going into this, but he wasn't around that long.
Yeah. That's a good one. All right. This one might be a little bit of a pull, but once you think about it, I think you can get it. Who holds the franchise record for most grounded into double plays in a single season for the Houston Astros?
It's going to be a guy who hits the ball hard and is slow. That screams like a Yordan Alvarez.
So I will give you a hint. You do not think of this guy as a Houston Astro.
Oh,
but
great.
he was a home run derby winner.
Oh, okay. As an Astro. All right. Bobby Ayala, John.
Yeah.
Man, because all the guys I think of for the Astros, kind of your guys like.
If you think of this name, you don't think of him as an Astro. But he did spend
What do I
time
think of him as?
in A.
Reddick?
Not Reddick. That's a good guess. Moises Alou. That's a good guess.
Carlos
Carlos
Lee's a good one.
Lee's a good guess. Not them.
Because I think I immediately go to guys like Berkman and Biggio.
Yeah, it's not them.
Bigger guys hit a lot of balls hard, but they couldn't run.
I think this might be the toughest one I got tonight. I don't think he ever played for the White Sox. He played for a lot of teams. I don't know if he did end up playing for the White Sox.
Is this the guy, like, was he good anywhere, or was he just like
Oh, yeah, he was good.
Okay. Okay.
307 home run club good.
Oh, all right. This is a legit player.
His,
what position?
Shortstop. His career, Oakland, Baltimore, Houston, back to Baltimore, Padres, Giants, finished with the Royals in 2013. And has a home run derby win in there. Not Canseco.
Is it Tejada?
It is Miguel Tejada.
How long was he in Houston for? I don't remember him in Houston at all.
It looked like a year and a half.
Like, I don't remember him at all. I'm like, when you went through the career progression, I'm like, that sounds like Tejada.
Yep. 32 grounded into double plays in 2008.
Wow.
Yep.
Miguel Houston, 08 and 09.
Yep.
He was a two-time All-Star in Houston. I don't remember him in Houston at all.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep.
There you go,
John. Yep. Tejada. There you go. Got it.
Yeah. Houston. Nope. Doesn't register.
Yeah. Well, that's what I mean. Like when you hear the name, like Houston's not the team that pops into my head for Tejada.
Yeah. When you said Baltimore, then back to Baltimore, I'm like, that sounds exactly like Tejada. Oh man, those old Chris Bermans, Bert be home by 11.
Yeah.
Eric sleeping with Bieniemy.
Yep, so good. All right, we got two more, almost on the AL here.
All right.
Who holds the franchise record for most career saves for the California / Anaheim / Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim?
Is this a trick question? Is it just K-Rod?
It is not K-Rod.
All right. So before him, it was the big right-hander.
Yeah.
Troy. I want to say Periwinkle, but it's something.
You're so close.
Troy Percival.
Troy Percival, yes. 316. I did throw this one on there because I'm like, people are going to guess K-Rod for sure. I mean, he has the single season record, obviously. But it's Troy Percival with the career.
Yeah, because K-Rod played in other places.
Yeah, he bounced around. Yeah, Percival.
John.
Yeah, good. Yeah. Tried to throw a little curveball there. Lee Smith. Yeah, good. I mean, all great guesses. But all right. Last one for the evening. Who holds the franchise record for most career hits for the Athletics?
I mean, I can't think of anybody who's been there that long.
You have to dial it back a little bit for this one. Not like way, way, way back, but
just like Ricky's era. Is it Ricky?
A little bit before him.
For him in Oakland. I mean, nobody that's really accumulated that many hits comes to mind.
Yeah, this might be a tougher one too.
All right,
just because it's a little bit.
We got Mark McGuire and Campaneris in the chat.
Campaneris is correct. Nice job.
Nice job, John. I did not even have Campaneris come to mind. I probably should have.
Yep. 1882 career hits is the franchise lead.
Wow.
So
Good pull,
well,
John.
typical Oakland. They pull up a guy he's on their team for 4 years and sends them away. So can only accumulate a certain amount of hits. But
Well, that's the thing. Like as much history the Oakland A's have, there's just a lot of it's so kind of unremarkable because it was a lot of just churn.
yeah. So, but he was with Oakland from 64 to 76. So he was there for 13 seasons. He finished his career with 2249. So he finished his career with Texas and California, and then the Yankees in 83. Yeah, good little ball player. But again, he's like in that wheelhouse, or our non-wheelhouse, I should say, of era of baseball. That 60s, 70s for us is tough. It's tough for me trivia wise too. But
yeah, it's a bit of a black hole because it was. I mean, really, it was all about the Big Red Machine, and that was there was a Big Red Machine, the Phillies. There wasn't a lot in that era that I would take note of, and it was an era where there wasn't a lot of great coverage of it either.
Right. Yeah.
I can go find all
like
kinds of clips from. Yeah, I can find all kinds of clips from stuff like before and after it, but not a lot in between.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. So, yeah, that was trivia for this evening. So
Good stuff.
Yeah. Do you have anything else to throw in there tonight, Chat or Harrison?
I've got one. I got one for you. We went through all the updates about Portland, Oregon, have put another funding for expansion. Orlando, obviously finding investors to bring cash in, so that all is moving along. But did you see about an hour and a half ago, Tyler Glasnow left his start with shoulder discomfort?
Again? Wasn't he already? They already shut him down, didn't they? And
yeah,
then
this is the second. This is the second straight outing they've had to pull him after coming back.
Dang.
So he pitched a week and a half ago. They took him out. He rested for a little while. They put him back in tonight. He came out again. So yeah, he couldn't finish his warm up throws before he was waving to the dugout to come out.
Dang. So that's him and Snell now out.
Yep. And the Glasnow's comment after the game was, obviously it don't feel good. We'll take a look at it and figure it out. But this is just getting kind of exhausting. Like I'm getting really frustrated, constantly battling issues.
Well, he also can't go on talk shows and say, I'm going to throw max velocity all the time, and I don't care if I get hurt because I still collect a paycheck.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Like, I don't know if I'm overstepping here, but you can't go on there and say that and then just keep getting hurt like that. You got to change your approach. You got to do something different because this obviously isn't working. I get that it's probably frustrating as hell that you can't stay on the field. I completely get it. But you also can't go, and blast it all over social media saying, I don't care if I get hurt, I still get paid. Now, that's not a direct quote, but that's pretty much what the overall summary of what he said was.
Yeah. And part of what he was talking about tonight after coming out of the game was, they've been making a lot of changes to his delivery to try to take pressure off his arm to keep him healthy. So he's trying to take measures to be able to prolong his ability to pitch, and that's not even working. Like now he's got another shoulder problem. And John, 100% right. I mean, Nick and I said it going into the season, and I think a lot of you agreed with us that it's just a matter of time. We're all just waiting to see how long before he goes down again. He has proven that he cannot pitch a complete season. He's another Jacob deGrom.
Yep, he's on the what if list because when he is right, he is unhittable. He is disgusting. Again, probably one of the best pitchers in the league, but just can't get on the mound.
Yeah, and John, we said this in the offseason. The Dodgers just pile in pitchers because they go after guys that are high risk, and they know that. So they just bring in all these guys behind him, knowing that you're going to need the Mays, the Gonsolins to fill holes for guys that are missing time, because none of those guys at the top of the rotation, I think, have ever pitched a full season. I think Snell has once. Did he pitch one full season?
2. Then he won the Cy Young both years.
That's right.
it.
That's right. The 2 full seasons he's pitched, he won the Cy Young. Otherwise, he's a 2/3 of the season guy.
Yep.
It's and I can appreciate Tyler Glasnow's frustration. Like he's trying to make changes to avoid
Absolutely.
this. But he gave up 2 bomb home runs in the first inning on pitches he just missed his location, and he said he felt something grab during warmups in the second inning, and that was it. His night was over. And the start before that, he left because he had cramping. It was not an arm thing; it was cramping. So they gave him some rest, rehydrated him, and he was good to go. But this was different.
Oh, great. Love that.
Yeah, not good. Not good.
Yeah, I don't know. I might be in the minority when I bring my view forth there by saying like you just can't go on publicly and say that and then not be able to stay on the field. Like, it's not a good look.
No, it's not, and that's I think part of what makes it worse for him is the fact that he's been so brazen about it. Yeah, I throw max effort, I get hurt, whatever, I get paid. And now he goes down again, and people are like, "Oh, how's that working out for you?"
Yeah.
But
And again, I get it. It's frustrating as hell if you can't get out on the field and you want to. I get it, but
I certainly don't. I mean, I certainly don't wish it on him.
right.
But it is kind of
Right.
ironic that here's a guy who literally says, "I'm going to do it anyways," and then we deal with this every year with him, and it's kind of like, well, dude, maybe take some advice.
Yeah. Yep.
Because you're not helping yourself here.
Yeah, I mean this stat is disgusting. It really is. It's gross. Yeah, you nailed it.
Terrible.
134 innings is his math, and he's been in the league for a good chunk of time now, right? I mean,
yeah.
What 2017? That's a guess. I'm looking right now.
Yeah, and a quick update on Blake Snell. While you're looking that up,
2016. He was came up with the Pirates.
Yeah, and
he was one of those arms.
Yeah, one of those same kind of guy. And Blake Snell, they said MRI shows no damage, but there's still no timetable for his return because he still can't throw.
Yeah,
like it hurts for him to move his arm.
Yeah, Captain agrees with me. Optics don't look good for sure. Yeah,
no.
8 years, 2016. Yeah, the Pirates had Cole, Glasnow. They had all those guys, and they're just like, nah, we'll just get rid of them.
Yeah, and Blake Snell's the same guy. There's been 2 seasons where he's pitched 180 innings, 180 and 2/3 in 2018. He won the Cy Young. 180 even in 2023, won the Cy Young. Otherwise, it's 129, 107, 128, 128, 104. He just doesn't pitch a lot.
No.
He averages about 25 starts a year. So he misses 7 starts. That's almost 2 months.
I mean, like as much as we sit here and hate on the Dodgers, like for what they did in the offseason, this is smart for them. Like because they knew this was going to happen. They stockpiled these arms because they knew the risk of getting these guys over here.
Yes.
So
yeah, they're prepared for it. They know what they're signing. They're aware of what they're signing. They're signing high risk guys.
Yeah.
So Nick, I'm actually surprised, and I'll set the stage for you here. I was surprised you didn't bring up Julio Ramos's walk-off home run today.
So I was going to. I just didn't have time to throw it in there. That thing was crushed, dude. Did you see that?
I went like a full 6 feet.
Yeah, Julio Ramos gets a pitch on the outside corner. He takes a huge hack at it, dribbles it back to the right side of the pitcher's mound. Pitcher grabs it, throws it into right field. He goes all the way to third. They relay it to third. They overthrow third, and he slides into home for a walk-off inside, Little League inside the park home run. Giants win. I was gonna text my cousin and ask if he was okay because it was against his Rangers. But man, oh man, that was a wild trip around the bases right there. That was Little League at its finest.
I've never seen anything like it in my life. I must have gone back and watched that replay like 3 or 4 times. I'm like, I can't believe what I just saw.
I wish it was one of the times where we were authorized to throw in clips during our live show because I wouldn't have said anything. I just would have played it at some random spot in the show.
And then turned on the circus music over the top of it.
Yeah.
So for those who haven't seen it, I just dropped a link in chat. It's the most insane thing you've ever seen. It literally was. It was your true little league home run. Ball never left the infield except for the overthrows.
Yeah, yeah, that's
I mean, the
crazy.
ball traveled more in terms of how far it was overthrown than it traveled in terms of where it was hit.
Yeah, yeah. Terrible throw by the pitcher.
Oh,
The relay, if you want to call it a relay, I don't even know what it was. The air mailed it over
yeah.
third, and then just like,
I don't know where he was, and I don't even know why he threw it. Ramos was already almost at third base. Like, why'd you even let that ball go? At that point, you from across the field, unless you know you're going to get him, you eat that,
yeah.
and
Mhm.
you threw it anyways. And I'm watching this go unfold, going, you broke every basic principle you teach kids,
Oh yeah,
and that
this is an
not
every
everybody.
inning occurrence in beer league softball for sure.
Oh, for hell yeah, hell
Yeah,
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 yeah.
absolutely.
Because usually, especially later in the game when nobody really cares anymore and they've had a few beverages, they're like, you're lucky if the ball even stays on the field of play.
Yeah, yep, agree. That's crazy. Yeah, that one was wild for sure.
Oh
Nuts.
man. But yeah,
It,
I was just waiting for you to get to it. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna cue it up then.
I so I brought this up last week, and I'm curious on like the chat's view on it because I don't think we got much interaction on it, but just the overall like defense league wide, I feel is just horrendous. I feel like this year, this first month, we've seen like terrible defense just across the league in general. I mean, do you agree with that? Do you think defense is trending down because offense is trending up so much, or what do you think the reasoning for that is?
I mean, I think it's a number of things. I think one, you're prioritizing offense over defense. You're willing to put lesser defensive players out there. I think a great example is I was watching the Dodgers game the other night, watching Max Muncy play third base. You know,
Yeah,
there's no world where he should be an everyday third baseman. He airmailed the throw to didn't airmail it. It was to the left. It was to Freddie Freeman's left and way off the base, and it bounced, took a weird hop.
and he made a great play on it down the line because it took like a weird like
He did,
skip that didn't bounce, and then he just turned, set his feet, and then just
yeah.
airmailed it.
And he's not even a bad third
Yeah,
baseman.
this is a
Yeah,
this is a fair point, John. It is ironic. It's because no one puts the ball in play anymore,
it is true, and it's
and
funny.
maybe
It's
that's why though. They're like
well,
not getting the opportunities to see a ball off the bat because they like finally get one hit to them. They're like, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit. You know,
yeah.
like
Well, it's one of the points I was going to make too. Is I feel like where there's so few, there's not as much contact as used to be. You're standing around for a long time before you see a ball hit to you. I mean, you pick on third base. I mean, there are whole games these guys go without a ball hit their direction because how many right-handers are pulling 100-mile-per-hour fastball anymore? But I think the other part of it too is when you look at exit velos, a lot of the balls that are hit are screaming.
that's
I mean,
true.
I
Yeah,
watched Machado make an error last week at third base on a ball that was hit like 107,
that's
and
a tough error.
he took a second hop off his thigh. I mean, it was. Is it a play you should have made? Yeah, probably, but it was coming in at 107, and it's skipping
Ugh,
across the grass in the dirt. Like any at that speed, any little like cleat mark will send that ball another direction.
yeah,
I just think it's a combination of you're picking offense over defense, you're putting lesser defenders out there, you've got balls getting hit a lot harder, and you also I think a lot of guys that honestly are just kind of like hanging out waiting for a ball, and they may not even be fully ready because they haven't seen one in a while. But I think it's the nature of the game. This is not a game where you're going to win championships on defense anymore. It's going to be pitching and it's going to be offense. Defense,
yeah.
you just hope you're not terrible.
Yeah, I mean, you look at it across the league. I think teams are also prioritizing
Yeah, right there with
out.
me, John.
Yeah, I think they're prioritizing outfield defense. Right? You look around the
Yeah,
league, and these guys can fly. They're all gold glove caliber, um, and they can fly. They can track them down because the league's gone to such a drop and drive mentality. It makes sense. You want to put your gloves out in the outfield. Now, I'm not saying that shortstop's not important. Up the middle is not important. Um, any position's not important for that matter. But I think you're seeing your better defenders in the outfield, and maybe that's just because like we see outfielders make more plays now. It seems than we do infield. Like it's almost kind of switched from even when we were kids. It was like you had your best defenders in the infield. Like that was it. Like gone are the days of hiding your weakest guy in right field. Like you got to put your strongest outfielder with the strongest arm in right field now. So I don't know.
And I do think to a certain extent you play deep. You do defend differently. You can't shift anymore like you used
Right.
to. So you're more reliant upon guys who can either read and react or can range. And I think Ellie's a great example. John brought up. Ellie's got an incredible range. He's an athletic freak. The problem is he's also 6'7" and he's flailing around out there, and he's getting to balls that most guys can't get to. And then he's making a bad throw, which honestly, to me, is less of an error because it's like he got to a ball that somebody else isn't going to get to anyways.
Right.
So there's a lot of factors to it.
But it's not even that. It's the bad. It's the you gets to the ball, and like usually it's ruled a base hit, but the overthrow he gets the error on, right? Because he's trying to make that happen. Where
he's trying to make a play on a ball that most guys don't even get to. So it's hard to fault him for it.
Yep.
But at the same time, it's still an error.
Yep. And I agree with this. Left field seems to be, especially with like, it seems like the revolving door in left field. Look at the Giants the last 17 years. They've had a new left fielder every single opening day. And like we said earlier in the show, like I can't, other than Teoscar Hernandez and Jarren Duran and Stephen Kwan, who's a Gold Glove left fielder, I can't think off the top of my head of an everyday starting left fielder, around the league.
Yeah. I mean, it's a great point. I mean, you really break it down. Left field, like we said earlier, it's a spot you cycle a lot of players through.
Yeah.
Because the throws are shorter. You've got ballparks like Houston and Boston where you can get away with a lesser outfielder out there because it's a shorter section of play.
Yeah, you put Yordan Alvarez out there sometimes. Heck, you try to put Altuve out there too. So, yeah.
Yeah. So what I find interesting is I love to look at a stat called batting average on balls in play, BABIP. And it's actually a stat that Joe Madden made popular probably 10 years ago. But it actually measures what is a guy's batting average when he puts the ball in play. So it takes strikeouts out. It just says when you make contact and it's a fair ball, what is your batting average? And when you look at it, a guy like Aaron Judge is hitting 500 on balls in play. When he puts the ball in play, 50-50 chance it's a hit.
It's crazy.
You know who's number 2?
Jarren Duran.
No, Gavin Lux. Gavin Lux hits 456 when he puts the ball in play. Paul Goldschmidt hits 449. George Springer hits 431. Zach McKinstry hits 431. Kyle Stowers hits 429. What's the common theme here? These are guys hit the ball hard.
Right.
Like, I mean, Gavin Lux is not a power guy, but he makes really good contact. He has a pretty high barrel rate. Number 8, Christian Campbell hits 393 with balls in play. Hits 100 points higher than his everyday average when you take out all the other stuff.
Yeah.
So I think when you consistently hit the ball hard, you are just going to hit for a higher average. Balls are going to get through. Balls are harder to play. You're going to get greater carry. But what's interesting is those guys aren't all home run hitters like Judge.
Right.
It's not just guys hitting the ball over the wall. It's guys hitting balls hard through the hole. Great example on this list, number 30, hitting 345 on balls in play. Xavier Edwards of the Marlins, who's a speed demon.
Right.
Which just says, hey, you got speed, put it in play. Slap and run.
Yeah. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if we see Chandler Simpson on this list soon. Because he's the same guy. He can just slap it to the left side and beat it out at first in 2 seconds flat. The guy's crazy fast.
Yep. So it's interesting because when you see the guys that consistently hit the ball hard, they are the ones that are hitting for a higher average because those balls are getting through.
Yeah.
And that's where Luis Arraez continues to be such an anomaly because he does none of those things.
Right.
But continues to hit at a really high average because for him, it's placement. It's not about exit velocity.
Yeah. Yeah. Captain, we're going to hire you as our bodyguard here. I love that you're answering that question for us in the chat. So thank you.
Yeah.
Love that.
I'm putting a link in the chat. So Fangraphs actually tracks batting average balls in play. But when you take a look at a lot of the guys with the higher strikeout rates, when you take the strikeouts out and look at what happens when they make solid contact, it is amazing the difference in how they perform.
Yeah, John, this is a fair point too. They're bigger and stronger. Their workout routines are way different. Yeah, we talked about this guy, I think, on Thursday with Caleb Durbin. The dude's 5'7", but he's like 225. He's a bowling ball. He's built like a brick shithouse. Like the dude's jacked, but he's tiny and hits the ball hard, like, and can run. So
Well, and you got a guy like
it's
Tyler
changed.
Soderstrom. He's 6'2", 200. He's a
Yeah,
pretty average sized guy. Yeah, obviously next to Judge, he looks like a peewee. Then you got a guy like Jose Altuve, who's always had pretty good pop, and he's also 5'6".
right. Yeah,
Sorry, no,
yeah.
sorry.
No, we appreciate it, man. It's awesome.
I love the fact we've got our own bouncers now. I feel like
Yeah, it's great.
we really hit it big time, Nick, when the
Y- y-
chat's taking care of us.
Yes, we have. I love it. That's incredible. Yeah, I mean, baseball has changed completely. You know, the analytics of hitting the ball hard, and everybody wants that max exit velo and the 121 off the bat for a 400-foot homer. But being at the hot corner, I played third base almost my entire career. I don't know if I would ever want to try to stop something coming at me 110. I don't think I've ever seen anything hit at me 110 being at third base. That's wild. And to give Manny Machado an error on something coming at him at 107, that's a tough error to give.
It is.
Sorry.
I mean,
I'm sorry.
It is. It's a challenging one. But a great example is we talked on the show on Thursday, I think, where the Nationals walked off against the Dodgers, I believe. James Wood had that base up the middle that was just kind of hit the glove of whoever's playing second, and CJ Abrams was off on the play, so he was stealing. Woods puts it in play. It kind of trickles in the center field. CJ Abrams comes all the way around to score from first.
All right,
because you put the ball in play hard and you were running.
Yeah.
Like that's a level of pressure you continue to put on the defense that can change the game.
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting to see because we're not really far removed from seeing an entire 9 be wizards with the gloves. Like you were more talking about like, oh, that guy's like horrendous on defense. That one guy. Now it's almost the opposite, where it's like, oh, these eight guys are not good defensively, but you have like one good defensive guy. It's kind of almost completely flipped on its head.
Yeah. Actually, sorry, it was against the Mets. They broke that winning streak.
That's what it was.
I just dropped a link in the chat, but watch the play. I mean, it was Abrams off on the pitch. Infielders are moving because of it. Woods makes solid contact. It creates chaos. And I do think where you're seeing more guys running again, you're adding some pressure to the defense they haven't felt in a while too. Like you've got runners in motion and guys are having to move. And when you're shifting guys out of position, even though they might be moving the right direction, they're not looking for the ball. They're looking to cover the base.
Yeah. Yeah. Doesn't matter. That's his name. Sorry for the audio. I'm just telling you. This is you left the comment. Yeah. Talking about speed, most people outside New England are sleeping on Roman Anthony. He's gonna make a name for himself. We're big Red Sox fans. Roman Anthony, when he gets to the show, he will make an impact. We're sitting here waiting for it. We want to see it. Red Sox got to do a lot of stuff to move some pieces to get him up here to get a spot. Because, like we've said, we don't want him going up and down. We want him here to stay. But he's only 20. Like it also wouldn't shock me if he stays in AAA for the full year or comes up for like September call-ups. Because I don't think you have to burn an option if he comes up for September call-ups. Correct? I think that goes away.
No, yeah, because they expand the roster, so I don't think it falls in the same category.
Okay, but yeah,
small ball. Those days of small ball are. I feel like there's teams that are bringing it back, but league wide, it's just most teams are not built for it. Although I will say we're seeing more speed than we've seen in a long time, so I do think you'll see a revitalization of that.
Yeah,
and you do have hitters coming up that are more capable of handling the bat than we've seen in a while.
Yeah. And Captain, I agree with you. I played corners myself, and I can't tell you how many balls I took off the chest, but they were going 50, maybe 60 miles an hour. I ain't taking 100.
They were harder than that. You're taking balls harder than that.
Oh, easy, Harrison. Easy. This is a family show.
Sorry.
Easy.
Balls were hit harder than that at you.
Thank you. Still not great, but I'll take it.
I'm not
I
trying
mean,
to say that in a way that doesn't feel a little weird, especially after the whole bat segment.
yeah, that bad segment was wild.
When the chat went off the rails there for a bit.
Wild. I can't wait to talk to Forrest about that. But yeah, I wouldn't put my body in front of something coming 110 at me. No thanks. I'm Olaying that every night. I will look like a professional bullfighter. I am just Olaying the crap out of that. There's no way. Clip that, John says. Yeah.
Clip that.
Yeah. Yeah, that play that JP Crawford and Mastroboni made the other night was nuts. Did you see that, Harrison?
Is that the one where he like flipped it across to him to make the throw for him?
Yeah, he glove flipped it all the way over for just a standard 6-4-3 put out, like just a regular put out. It wasn't double play, but that was a sick play.
Yeah. Well, I was more impressed with the fact he had the presence of mind to realize he didn't have time to get up and throw. Like it was easier just to flip it over and get it thrown for him.
And the glove flip was like spot on too.
It was perfect.
It was a perfect feed.
That's a guy who's done that before. John, I played left out or left center pine.
Yeah.
Just kidding. I played the outfield. All right, fair enough.
Same thing.
I didn't play the outfield. I played the outfield for like in like an emergency situation. I was not that fast.
Yeah. So, I mean, like, don't get me wrong. There are still nights that we watch baseball and there's a defensive play where you're just like, holy cow, what did I just watch? Right. I mean, there are still some plays out there.
I'm gonna make a statement here, and maybe I'm way off here, but this is how I feel about defense lately. We grew up in an era of top 10 plays and web gems. Yeah. Every night, baseball tonight, web gems, fed to us every night. When was the last time you saw a highlight reel on MLB.com of the best defensive plays of the night, the week, the month, the year? It's at the end of the year, right? Because nobody. But every friggin' 5 minutes is an update on somebody's home run. Usually Ohtani's, because MLB.com loves Ohtani. But it's nothing but highlights of strikeouts and home runs.
Yeah.
No, they don't feed us the defensive plays anymore because the casual fan doesn't care. The casual fan wants to see the ball go a million feet or watch a guy pinwheel himself and walk back to the dugout.
Yeah. I mean, Chandler Simpson robbed Manny Machado the other night
catch
on the Rays' way to sweeping the Padres. They just quietly go into San Diego and sweep the Padres. I mean, that was a crazy catch up against the wall. But, I don't know. I think you're right. They just don't publicize it the same way anymore because home runs sell. Home run sells tickets. Defense doesn't sell tickets, Nope. What's up, Dream Sport? Good to see you, buddy. Yeah, I mean, defense doesn't sell you tickets. Long balls do.
It doesn't. The casual fan has no interest in a diving catch. And there's been a bunch of them lately. They're like, as much as we rail on the overall quality of defense, there are still a lot of great plays made every day. But nobody sees them because it's not the highlight reel that anybody runs because, again, it doesn't keep the attention of the casual fan. And let's be serious. Baseball knows your serious diehard fans are going to watch no matter what they do.
Right.
It's the casual fans that are going to come and go if you don't keep them interested.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, I mean, agree with that point completely. They're just basic plays you should make. And then cap and web gems are gone. All highlights are home runs. Yeah. And listen, I like seeing the ball fly out of the park, but like if it's a fence scraper, like no. But like if somebody hits a hanging breaking ball like 500 feet, I want to see that one.
Right? Oh, for sure. And I'm not saying don't show those, but like also show me the sliding grab that was made 2 innings later. Don't skip that.
Right.
Like that should be part of the highlight reel.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, did you see the 6-run comeback from the Nationals today over the Mets to win that game?
No.
The Nationals were down 7-1, 7-2. And walked off 8-7 win against the Mets on a Pete Alonso throwing error. Another error.
Dang.
They were down 6 early in the game and rallied all the way back to walk off 8-7.
That Nationals team's going to be a thorn on a lot of people's sides this year for sure.
They just kept coming back. They just kept battling and battling and battling.
Wow. Yeah, O'Neal Cruz going 459. That ball was tagged the other night.
Oh my goodness, that was a missile.
Yeah. I mean, agree. Like, I still like watching home runs, but like, I also love seeing the spectacular defensive plays.
Yeah.
I mean, to go back to Manny Machado, like one of the best third base plays I've ever seen is that one he made in foul territory on the backhand, like crossing over in foul territory, and he just turns and hoses a sidearm to first to get the guy by like 2 steps. Like, it's just like, what? Like, crazy. Oh, sorry, flat cheese. Yeah, Mets fan.
Oh.
Yeah,
Yeah.
tough one.
They lost 2 out of 3 to the Nationals, right?
Yeah, yeah. And Captain, this is why I know this is homerism because we're Red Sox fans, but watching Jarren Duran get out of the box every time he gets a base hit, right? He is hustling. He thinks he's got a double on every single base hit, and he makes the outfield field it cleanly and throw it in cleanly. If not, he's standing on second base. I love that stuff.
Yep.
Right? First to third. The Corbin Carroll hit 2 triples today, and he got to third in under 11. I think it was 11-2 on both of them.
Fast.
Like, that stuff is give me a guy that burns. I love seeing that. It's insane.
Well, and I love the mindset, even like the thought process to say, like, I'm looking for the extra base.
Yeah.
If I can take it, I'll get it. Most guys, ball goes through the hole. They're kind of trotting down to make their turn, and they can do their weird gesture and put their sliding gloves on. And not Duran. Duran goes into the base hard. He's turning the corner looking to see if he can make any more movement.
Yep. Yeah. If I live to be 1,000 years old, I'll never understand the lack of interest in great defense. We're with you, Forrest. I don't understand it either, to be completely honest.
And I think you look back to the 90s and early 2000s, that was the thing, because it was offered to us. Like, defense got attention because it was on ESPN every night. Now, you just don't see it anymore.
Yeah.
Except for the one-off highlight, like the Chandler Simpson home run robbery and the JP Crawford. Like, I saw that one circulating.
Yeah.
Like, nothing else.
Yeah. Yeah. Flat cheese. We hear you on this one. As Red Sox fans, like, they play down to their level. And, sometimes that just happens, but they rise up against the good teams. Just sometimes it's hard to get up for those lower level teams, if you will. But yeah.
So sliding mitts, we've had this debate many times. What purpose does a sliding mitt serve? Is to protect their hand or to give them that little bit of extra reach because it rounds off over the top of their fingers? And I think there's something to be said. Although I will say, can we talk about like the 9U travel ball teams that have these kids with sliding gloves and glasses and chains and leg protectors? The kid's throwing 42 miles an hour to you. You don't need a leg protector or an elbow guard.
Harrison, stop being an old grumpy man.
No, this is insane, Nick. Like, you've got travel ball kids who are going up there with sunglasses, chains, elbow guards, leg guards, towels in their pockets, sliding gloves, 17 different wristbands, bright pink and green cleats. And it's like, dude, the pitcher's throwing like 42 miles an hour. How about you just hit the ball?
Do you also yell at kids that walk by your house and step on your grass?
I would. Yes, I would.
No, just
it's all about the drip, Nick. It's all about the drip. It's not about if you play good. It's about if you look good.
Yep. No,
it drives me insane to see these clips of travel ball kids that are like 9 and 10.
Yep.
Decked out like major league players. It's like,
yeah, and they walk and it takes them a minute and a half to get everything off. Yeah.
Oh, and so there's a guy who does the parodies of these and they're so funny.
Yeah. So John, we had this massive discussion about this last year because remember when Pete Crow Armstrong hit that double and randomly took his helmet off like 20 feet before the base and then made contact with the base with his helmet.
Such a weird play.
And he was ruled safe. And we're like, wait a minute. Like, is that legal? Because if that's the case, I'm carrying my baseball bat all the way down to the first baseline and I'm sliding into first with my 33-inch bat trying to touch the base before I can get there. Right? I mean, essentially, it's the same thing. So, like, we kind of had that debate. Sean was still on with us at that point, and he's like, well, no, the rule is you have to drop your bat at the plate. Is that a written rule? I mean, it might be. But, like, I also didn't think that you could take your helmet off, be in contact with the base, and it would be fine.
Well, it's no
So, like,
different than if a ball's on the ground and a catcher uses his mask to pull the ball back. That's a catcher's block. It's a dead ball and everybody moves up a base because your equipment touched the ball.
yeah,
You use your equipment to to change the direction of the ball. It is
yeah,
one of those weird rules. And apparently I'm just an old man because John's all about look good, play good, flat cheese is for the drip more than the protection. Like I said, it's all about the drip, but baseball gear dudes, and I'm not the old man yelling at clouds, John. I
yeah.
mean, maybe.
But it's all right. I
And
got called out too,
yeah,
so this is fine.
stop being the old guys from the Muppet Show. Those guys, John, those guys are hilarious. If Nick and I can become the old guys from Muppets, I'm okay with it. I
Yeah,
don't
right.
have a problem with that. I will
Yeah.
be the old guy saying, back in my day, this is how we played the game, because I will get to that point.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, the helmets flying off too is another thing that's driving me nuts, especially at the plate. Like guys swinging out of their touch holes and the helmet
Well,
just comes flying off.
is it Josh Naylor? I was watching the D-backs
Yeah,
thing the other night, and
happens a lot.
the announcers were like, every night he's got to lose his helmet, and he like lost it in the follow through of a swing.
Yeah.
I was like, what? Get a helmet that fits, dude.
How about we get one? Yeah, exactly. Just get one that fits
Get one
snug
that
on your head.
fits.
Yeah, crazy.
If we ban anything please get rid of the Ghost Runner. Oh God.
Yeah.
Okay.
Flat cheese. We're on Sunday nights at 9 and Thursday nights at 9. So we're
And then
Eastern Standard Time. I don't know where you are, but
occasionally we jump on other times, but
yeah.
we're definitely on those nights.
Hey, I'm 44. I'm with you. Yeah.
All right, you're with us
All
on
right.
that.
Good. Yeah.
We're all 40 now and crotchety.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know, man. It's just wild. I still can't. It's the Pete Crow Armstrong one for me. I still blows my mind. I don't get it. I really don't.
Yeah, that
I
was
mean,
such
I would
a
have
weird play.
because he did it on purpose.
Yeah.
Like it's not like his helmet fell off mid slide and he somehow like overslid, grabbed his helmet to like put it back on. Like he did it knowing he was gonna overrun second or whatever. It was weird.
Yeah, bizarre.
But yeah, we had talked about like, can I get an oven mitt that also has like a 7-inch extender? So like when I slide, like I don't know. I would have to like really dig into the MLB rule book to see what it says in there. I'm sure it's got to be there somewhere. But
There is a rule about being able to use other equipment to touch a base, but I don't know, it's weird. I'm 45 looking California feeling Minnesota. Oh man.
That's funny.
You guys sometimes crack me up when chat goes off the rails on us for a little while.
Oh, I love it. Yeah, I mean, yeah. Anyways,
did you see Chandler Simpson scored in a wild pitch today to tie that game for the Rays? I mean, he was there in like the blink of an eye.
No. That dude's crazy fast. I can't wait till we start seeing real highlights of him just burning.
I'm in Minnesota. You aren't missing much.
Yeah.
I'm in Maine. Also not missing much.
Yeah. Thanks, Flat Cheese. Appreciate it, buddy. We'll see you around. We'll be on. Yeah, that's crazy. But man. All right. Anything else for this evening before we hit the hay?
No, we covered a lot tonight. It's
definitely did.
It's been a good week in baseball. I will say, just for the record, the Braves have moved into 4th place now. They've won 7 of their last 10. They're sitting at 12 and 15. The comeback is on.
I have very little faith in them, and I probably shouldn't, because the Braves usually are there at the end, even if they're hurt.
Yeah,
but they just look different to me this year. I mean, granted, I can't watch them, but
right.
You know what I mean? They just don't seem to have that same Braves feel, I guess, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, no, I think there's definitely something missing there. We talked about that a week or two ago with the whole Acuna Snitker issue, and it feels like there's something that's not quite right in Atlanta. It's more so than just the injuries and underperformance. There's definitely, I think, something else going on.
Yeah. But Cap, and you're in Hawaii. What the heck? Thanks for the invite, bud.
Yeah, well, just now, right? You don't got to get back to Portland.
Yeah. Well, what time is it there? Is it 5, 4? You're 6 hours behind. I think they're 6 hours behind out there.
I think it's 3 to I think you're three in California and 3 more over to Hawaii.
So
Yeah.
3 plus 3, carry the 1. The
9. It's 9 hours, Nick.
9. Gotcha.
Yep.
But yeah, thanks, John. I really appreciate it. It's pretty cool milestone for Harrison and I. Like, we put a lot of time into it, and you guys invest a lot of time in us too. So we really appreciate it as well. So I hope you guys continue to enjoy it and the stuff that we put out and talk about. So like I said, you guys are very important to the show. So absolutely appreciate it. 5:15, so 6 hours behind.
Yeah. So little, getting ready for dinner as you watch us. So that's nice.
Yeah.
So don't look now, Nick, but your NL West division leaders are the San Francisco Giants.
All right, I won't look. You just told me.
Did you watch Skeens versus Yamamoto?
I did. I had that slide up and I ended up getting rid of it because I don't know why. That my editor told me to. But yeah, Skeens was lights out.
Unreal.
That dude he's a cheat code.
The Dodgers looked foolish against him. There wasn't a single ball hit very hard.
It's not fair.
And he made Ohtani look foolish on that slider that he ran in on him. That was such a bad strike 3 swing.
I mean, what else are you gonna do though? You're geared up for 103 and he drops an 88-mile-an-hour slider on you. No chance. I don't care who
running in at you.
Yeah. I don't care who you are. You're not touching that. He could have told Ohtani that pitch was coming and he wouldn't have been able to touch it.
No, mate. That was nasty.
Did you see Severino's sweeper the other night?
No.
24 inches of lateral break.
Dear Lord.
It was a ball. It ended up in the left-handed batter's box, but 24 inches of lateral break. That's legit wiffle ball. Like, these guys are throwing wiffle balls up there. That's not even right. But
wow.
Yeah.
So speaking of Ohtani, before we go, 25 game. He's played 25 games. He's sitting at 277, 6 home runs, 9 RBIs, and 6 stolen bases. Pretty safe to say we're not going to see 50-50 again, but where does he end up? He is off, like off big time.
Do you think it's because he's trying to ramp up for pitching again?
I don't know.
That's taken something out of him.
I probably watched 2 or 3 Dodgers games last week, at least parts of them, and like he did not have great at bats in any of them. A lot of fly balls, a lot of pop-ups. I feel like he's trying to hit the home runs. He's dropping and driving more than he usually does. I mean, and he's proven, as we've said on the show for the last 2 years, when he gets behind in the count, he chases like everybody, and he expands that strike zone so much, and he's striking out he's actually striking at a significantly higher rate than he usually does. He's on pace to beat his career high by like 20 or 25 Ks. Just chasing a lot of pitches.
I think also, like, pitchers and teams are learning how to pitch to him finally. Like, with all these analytics, like, you can diagnose every single location, every speed that these hitters can't touch now. Right? I mean, you can go back in the dugout, look at the hit tracks and be like, oh, these are his cold zones. We're going to just attack it. So, I mean, it's a bunch of everything. It's a little bit of him pressing, I think. Didn't he just have a kid too? So he's probably got a lot on his mind. Like, I'm sure that it all plays, right? These guys, we say it all the time, are people as well. They have lives. They have families. Like, he could be tired. The baby's cranky at night, not getting sleep. There's a lot of factors that could play into it. But
yeah, and I think what's more interesting too is he's got 28 hits on the year, 6 home runs, 2 triples, 3 doubles. That's a lot of singles. His whole line just looks really off. It's not a lot of solid contact. His OPS is 200 points lower than it's typically been. OBP is down 10%, slugging's
But
down 100 points.
But we could be here in 2 weeks and
Yep.
he's leading the league in homers, leading the league in stolen bases. He can just get absolutely crazy hot and you can't keep him in the yard. So he's one of those guys that can just absolutely explode and then no one's getting him out. So
Yeah,
I don't
just
know.
it's interesting to see such a slow start for a guy who got off to such a good one the last few years.
Yeah. John.
Wow, John.
Yeah.
You may not be wrong. I don't know.
Yeah. Who knows?
But he's definitely, and that lineup has been a little has had its challenges. I mean, that lineup has scored runs, but they're not even in the upper third.
Yeah.
Maybe just barely in the upper third.
I don't know.
That lineup makes you scratch your head.
But I mean, the Dodgers have also been scuffling a lot lately as a team, right? I mean, what are they? Their last 10? It can't be that good.
They're 6-4 only because they've won 2 in a row. Before that, it was inverted.
Yeah,
they were 4-6.
yeah.
So, I mean, they've had kind of an odd stretch. Freddie's missed time. Ohtani's missed some time. They've got pitchers dropping like flies.
Yeah.
I think this is typical Dodgers baseball. I'm sure that'll all come back together in the summer, but it's just interesting to see him off to such a slow start right at the same time as he is ramping up to pitch. I think it just draws out what we've been saying all along is that he's, the 50-50 was great because he wasn't pitching. You won't see that again if he's pitching.
Yeah. And Captain, as terrible as this is, these guys do have life outside of baseball.
Yeah.
Like we only see them in the spotlight, right? Like we don't know what's going on behind the scenes. I mean, that whole run with Freddie Freeman last year and his son, that was more public than I think Freddie wanted it to be. But
yeah,
like you don't know the stresses that they got when they enter the clubhouse. Like the great ones are able to shut it off, but I don't know if I could. I mean, for someone that's gone through a lot of trauma in my life, like medically, like I had a kidney transplant and all that. Like I tried to shut it off when I got to work every day because I was with kids. So it was like those kids don't need to see the pain that I'm actually in, right? I'm here for them.
Yep.
And I was able to do that at times. And then when I couldn't, I had to step away for a few days. Like I had to take a mental break. And, my team was aware of that. And people just don't realize that also happens with professional athletes because we only see them in front of the camera.
Right.
That's it.
Yep.
So, I mean, that's a fair point.
Yep. No, they are people. They've got distractions outside of it. It's just, it's funny because I feel like a lot of the Ohtani talk, a lot of the Ohtani focus, even on like MLB's Facebook page has faded this year because he's not in the headlines.
Yeah. I think that amps up if he does get back on the mound, right? I mean, because then the whole two-way phenomenon, like as him as just a DH and he's not performing offensively, it's not really a headline per se, right? If he's got 6 home runs and he's got 4 pitching wins, now we're like, okay, Ohtani
different
juice
story
is back, right?
Yep.
But yeah, John, this is a fair point too, right? I mean, like, we just don't know what these guys are going through at all. Yep. So,
I mean, as the great philosopher Biggie Smalls once said, John, you are right. Mo money, mo problems.
Yep. Absolutely. So, yeah.
Oh yeah, I forgot about the Stephen Piscotty deal. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, it's cool that organizations can work something out like that, because I mean, they understand it too. I mean, that was another part of the Clubhouse on Netflix that I really liked as well, was you got to hear from some of the wives and like their view and what they deal with every day, like they followed Craig Breslow's family around a lot. And his wife was just very like, well, this is how it is. Like Craig comes home, he's on the phone a lot, especially during trade deadline time was when they were following him around.
Yeah, like he must be a ghost in that house.
Yeah, and it's tough. I get the wear and tear, but us fans don't see that, and we just see the on-field product, and we're like, oh well, this guy sucks. Well, no, he's got a lot going on at home that we don't see. Maybe he might not be. Who knows? But that's the thing. I think, me included, forget that these guys are people off the field sometimes because they're out of touch, right? Like we can't touch them. We don't interact with them. We're not friends with them. So like it's
speak
hard.
for yourself.
Oh, well, you're not doing a good job hosting this podcast if you're not getting your friends on here then.
Oh,
So I just think we forget that as fans sometimes, but yeah.
I love a good Billy Chappell reference, John. This is perfect. He did pitch a no-hitter doing issues with his ex.
Okay. Well, we'll end the show on that because we clearly don't know what we're talking about.
There's also that time he cut his hand. Don't forget. That was pretty serious, too, when he came back from it.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah, John, we might all have to take a trip to LA and start throwing off the mound, see if we still got it with all of them dropping out there. But like I said, I think the Dodgers planned for this. I think they knew this was coming at some point. Maybe not in April, but they knew it was coming.
I mean, and the Dodgers have been very slowly ramping him up in the hopes he might be ready later in May, because they keep pushing the date out because they don't want to bring him back too soon. But they may start to feel some pressure at some point to get a little more aggressive with that timetable, because if you've got Snell down and now Glasnow down, and now it's like, okay, well, we've got some guys we can rely on, but do we have enough? You've had Sasaki's wild inconsistency. They may need to find a way to stabilize that. Maybe Ohtani coming back is what they do.
Sasaki reminds me so much of Daisuke Matsuzaka when he came over. Just a ton of walks.
Yep.
And just
incredible stuff.
Yeah. Just all over the place.
But drives you freaking crazy because he nibbles. He just doesn't want to throw a strike.
Yeah. And he should. His stuff is nasty. He just needs to, I don't know. He'll figure it out, I think.
I mean, he should have been watching Paul Skeens in that outing. What did Skeens do? He filled up the strike zone. He dared the guys to hit his stuff, and they couldn't.
Yeah. Yep. Agreed.
I mean, that's how he got into the 7th on 100 pitches. He was just filling up the zone.
Yeah. Yeah. Crazy. All right. Anything else? Are we good for this evening?
We are good to go.
All right. Fellas, as always, thank you for filling up the chat. We love talking baseball with you guys. I look forward to these days all week. I work just so I can get through to the next podcast day. So, and I thank you guys for that. So pretty awesome. Enjoy your week of baseball. We'll touch base back on Thursday night around 9. We'll be on. Hopefully the Sox can keep it rolling here going into Toronto. And good luck to all your teams. And if you guys want to talk baseball during the week and we're not on, send us a message. I love messaging you guys back and forth. I think it's awesome.
Oh, yeah.
So if you see anything that's cool, a crazy trivia question, send it to us in the chat on Facebook Messenger or whatever. We love it. So yeah, and enjoy your time in Hawaii, Captain. I'm jealous. Yeah. Go to a luau tonight, enjoy yourself. We'll be back on Thursday night around 9 p.m. Until then,